Hello and welcome back to Azure Terraformer. Today I thought that I would just sit down, let's all sit down together, take a breath, take a deep breath, and let's read the Terraform license together so that nobody misses one little TIPQS whatever in this little text file that seems to be exploding the community since the August 10th announcement. So what I've done is I pulled up the license. It'll be really quick. Let's just sit down and read it together, and then I'll analyze the key point in my next video. So here we are. This is you can go find the license. It's at this it's at the Terraform repository. I don't spend a lot of time at the Terraform repository because I use Terraform. I spend most of the time looking at the Azure RM provider and the other providers that I use. I've never contributed to the Terraform repository. I have contributed to the Azure RM provider, and I write my own HCL modules and all that stuff. But so this is kind of the first time that I'm actually looking at the license. So anyways, here we go. I'm going to read every stick of text, and I apologize for that because I don't want any doomer out there to be like, oh, you skipped over this, and this is so critical. So here we go. License text, copyright, the copyright symbol, 2020, MariaDB, Corporation AB, all rights reserved. Business source license is a trademark of MariaDB Corporation AB. Ooh, scary. MariaDB, what are they doing in a HashiCorp repo? Weird. Parameters. Licensor, HashiCorp Incorporated. Licensed work, Terraform 1.6.0. This becomes important later. The licensed work is copyright 2023 HashiCorp Incorporated. Additional use grant. You may make production use of the licensed work, provided such use does not include offering the licensed work, Terraform, to third parties on a hosted or embedded basis which is competitive with HashiCorp's products. What HashiCorp products are there? Valid question. Change date. 4 years from the date of the license work is published. Change license. MPL 2.0. So apparently there's I'm no lawyer and I don't play one on TV, but apparently there's this rolling window where the license transitions from BSL over to MPL 2.0. Again, I'm not a lawyer and I do not play one on TV, so I'm like you guys. I'm a layman here. For information about alternative licensing arrangements for the licensed work, please contact licensing@hashicorp.com. Basically, if you are concerned that the additional use grant might apply to you, i.e. you're running something in production where you host or embed the licensed work, Terraform, and you compete with HashiCorp's products, then you should probably send an email to that email address and initiate a little sit down, a little conversation with HashiCorp. That would be a good idea. Or you can go fork the repo. Whatever you want to do, whatever you think is easier. Anyways, notice Business Source License 1.1 Terms. The licensor hereby grants you the right to copy, modify, create derivative works, redistribute, and make non-production use of the licensed work. They call out non-production use of the licensed work because production use of the licensed work has that additional use grant clause up at the top, which we just read. And here we go. The licensor may make additional use grant above permitting limited production use. Limited production use. What does that mean? Well, we read it up above. You may make production use of the licensed work provided it does not include the offering the licensed work to third parties on a hosted or embedded basis which is competitive with HashiCorp's products. There you go. That's what we're talking about. That's what limited production use is. You can use Terraform in production for whatever the crap you want as long as you don't compete with HashiCorp. Got it. Moving on. Effective on the change date or the 4th anniversary of the publicly available distribution of a specific version of the licensed work under this license, whichever comes first, the licensor hereby grants you rights under the terms of the change license and the rights granted in the paragraph above. Terminate. Effective on the change date or the 4th anniversary of the first publicly available distribution of a specific version of the licensed work under this license, whichever comes first, the licensor hereby grants you rights under the above, under the terms of the change license, MPL 2.0, and the rights granted in the paragraph above terminate. So basically, 4 years from now, whatever version of Terraform you are specifically using, 1.5.5 or 1.5.6 or 1.5.7 or 1.5.8, I could go on. That specific version converts over to the MPL 2.0 license, and all of this stuff that we're talking about doesn't matter. Okay, that's kind of a big nothing burger, but sure. Next, all copies of the original and modified licensed work and derivative works of the licensed work are subject to this license. This license applies separately for each version of the licensed work, and the change date may vary for each version of the licensed work released by the licensor. So basically, every version of Terraform has this license applied to it distinctly for that particular version. And so that creates kind of a rolling window of this license as it applies to the different versions of Terraform that are released. You must conspicuously display this license on each original or modified copy of the licensed work. If you receive the licensed work in original or modified form from a third party, the terms and conditions set forth in this license apply to your use of that work. This is kind of legal jargon, which I think is pretty commonplace. Basically, like if you fork this code, you have to display this license somewhere wherever you're hosting that code, and if it doesn't matter if you don't know where you got it from, like this still applies to you, even if you got it from Fred around the corner, and Fred's got an uncle that forked this code and gave you this infrastructure as code tool. I don't know where it came from, officer. It's like Fred gave it to me. Like what? Like I didn't know this. Sorry, the license still applies to you. Legal stuff, right? Anyways, next. Any use of the licensed work in violation of this license will automatically terminate your rights under this license for the current and all other versions of the licensed work. So this is kind of a get out of jail free card. If you do this, if you're a baddie and you break the license on 1.5.7, you can't just go back to 1.5.6 and be like, just kidding, right? Anyways. This license does not grant you any right in any trademark or logo of the licensor or its affiliates, provided that you may use a trademark or logo of the licensor provided that you may use a trademark or logo of licensor as expressly required by this license. In caps, to the extent permitted by applicable law, the licensed work is provided on an as-is basis. Licensor hereby disclaims all warranties and conditions, express or implied, including without limitation warranties of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, non-infringement, and title. That's like standard open source licensees stuff, jargon, junk to basically don't sue me. That's the don't sue me clause, right? So there you go. That's it. I read the license. You did too. If you listened to me, I gave you a little bit of color commentary in there. And I think in my next video, I'll kind of talk a little bit about what I think this is doing, or how people are reacting in the community about this specific topic. So, anyways, buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. A lot of people are pissed off. A lot is a big word. I would say some people are pissed off, and some people are trying to foment, a big rebellion and a lot of rage and anger over really a big nothing burger, in my opinion. That really only affects, just those people that thought they could create Terraform and compete with, kind of bite the hand that feeds it, so to speak. So, anyways, if you agree with me, if you or if you just like, the fact that I read the license and you read the license too, you're welcome. Smash that like button. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, we don't smash dissent on this channel, unlike certain places on the internet where the downvote brigade is out in force. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear from you. Post something in the comment section below. Let's talk. I'm a reasonable. I like to consider myself a reasonable guy. I'd love to hear your opinion. I've been chatting on Reddit with a lot of people about this that have maintained civil discourse, and I appreciate to those people. I love you. I appreciate you. You guys are gentlemen and scholars, and let's keep the conversation going. To those people that want to stifle dissent and just throw FUD all over the place, it's very unfortunate. Anyways, that's it for me. This is the Azure Terraformer signing off.